Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Thursday, September 30th. And we're done with Big Brother, right? Yes? Are you? Yes, for this season at least. I pretty much am. The show ended last night, and I didn't see any interviews. I don't think they did any backyard interviews. And then I saw some online interviews popping up this morning, and I don't really care. How's that for an answer? I don't need to hear the house guests tell their version of what they think happened in the house. Or I don't need to listen to interviewers tell the house guests their version of what happened in the house to try to reveal things to them or surprise them or tell them, well, you don't know how this happened. And I saw a couple clips of that where the interviewer was, explaining to the house guests what happened in the house. And I get it, because in some ways you're like, I know stuff you don't know. But on the other hand, I don't need to watch them do that. So, I generally don't watch, I watch the backyard interviews when they had them, but I don't need to watch long-form interviews. I haven't. Sorry. I thought someone asked me if there would be any, and I'd link to them. But I just, right now, I'm like, eh. And, there was nothing to link to last night. So, let's talk about this finale. For what it's worth. You've all seen it, right? I know it's up on, for those of you that don't get CBS, that you can't watch it live, or you wait for the show to pop up, it's up this morning. It wasn't up late last night, but I did check this morning. And it is up there. You can watch it. And anybody should be able to watch it. CBS usually makes available at least the most recent couple episodes. So it's not like it's restricted to people that are subscribers only or anything. So you just go to, if you just search for CBS Big Brother episode, you should be able to get to it. So what to talk about? Let me run down the show on the top of my head. I have no outline, of course. I'm doing this all off the cuff, which is usually a bit of a nightmare. But, there wasn't as much reviewing as I thought. I forgot they kind of kept it going. They showed the part 2 of the Head of Household competition, which that was a time killer. Crawling around on that ring thing, it hurt. Now I know why Derek's knees were hurting. And that would be rough on anybody's knees, carrying that much weight while you crawl around on a thing. So, yep. So, Azah defeated Derek fairly soundly in that competition. And then there was the torn, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And the Derek guilt trip. And they recaptured those moments pretty accurately. They didn't show Azah. Or did they show Azah straight up telling Derek? At this point, I'm very likely to take Xavier, but they showed his reactions to it. And as we know now, when Azah came out after Xavier evicted her, she would have taken Xavier. That's what she said. So that's what she would have done. And I would think most of us thought, even though she said she was waffling, that that's what she was going to do. But it's funner when you say you're waffling. So it was very close, the part 3. Azah and Xavier. I'm pretty sure Nicole missed the first question last year too, didn't she? I'm not 100% sure. But it did come down to another 8-7 competition, just like last year. They were on the same side of the screen, as a matter of fact, even with Xavier on the left and Azah on the right. And last year it was Cody on the left, Nicole on the right. And 7-8 or 8-7, Xavier won. Xavier didn't mix his words too much. He didn't try to make too many excuses. And you know what? Azah voted for him in the end, so he made the right decision for him to ensure his victory. Whitney didn't get to ask a question. I know I'm going to be all over the map here, but I'm trying to get the highlights while I'm, before I get to work. Whitney didn't get to ask a question. That was a bit of a... Usually at least one former house guest doesn't get to talk, and I mean of the non-jury house guests. I was kind of surprised that Julie gave Brent a chance to praise Tiffany, but maybe that was their plan. They knew what Brent would say, and they wanted to give Tiffany some kudos because she didn't get many, and they also knew that Brittany was going to be getting America's Favorite House Guest at that point. So maybe they wanted to give her a chance to have the spotlight on her, and Whitney's question may not have been, or Whitney's talk wouldn't have been Ozza-centric. But frankly, a couple of things, just general thoughts about the season, or about the finale. We talked about the fact they don't do a reunion episode. You know, Survivor does a whole hour after the winner is crowned. They kind of do a reunion where before they announce the winner. So that was there a little bit, but it's still pretty short. And again, I realize in Survivor, not every house guest, not every islander, whatever you call them, gets to talk. So, you know, we shouldn't expect every house guest to get to talk, but we do kind of like to see everyone get the little bit of spotlight on them. And I do follow Rachel from Big Brother 20, and she commented how she didn't get asked a question her season, and it's really a letdown, really disappointing. And you kind of feel for those house guests that have got eliminated fairly early, get to come back for the finale, and basically all they are is a placeholder, just sitting in the chair. They don't really get any airtime, and so it's kind of disappointing. But all right, I'm not like I was a huge Whitney fan or anything, but he's still nice to have him say, "Yeah, Julie had a good time. This was amazing. You know, blah blah blah." There, now I've had my moment, but it doesn't take much to do that. I don't know. It's like throw the girl a bone. Throw the girl a bone. Just give her a little bit of something. So I've already given her more airtime than maybe she deserves, or maybe any of the first 5 deserve. But what else? What other general thoughts? Because I'm just all over the place. I'll probably do another one of these tomorrow, maybe when I've had more chance to absorb things and think of things. But I was fine with it. It ended. I think if you follow me and if you pay attention to me, I pretty much have been saying I thought Xavier was going to win. And as soon as the jury started cracking up at every one of Derek's answers, I was like, Xavier's winning, unanimously. And then Scott did point out that he thought Brittany might vote for Derek, which would make a Joker kind of alliance sense. But then when Brittany walked up and cast her vote, it's like, oh no, she's not voting for Derek, she's voting for Xavier. And then when Kylan walked up, Kylan's answer was so, Kylan's statement before he put this key in was kind of weird. So it's like, oh, well, maybe Kylan voted. And Kylan, yeah, I don't need to dwell on this any longer than anybody else. I mean, it's been covered. He just doesn't get it. He just should have just totally apologized to Xavier and said he was sorry for the misunderstanding and all this. But he had to defend himself and say that, well, no, if you watch it back, I didn't really say that. And it's like, how many times have people had a bad look when they've done that? Like, I can go back. I can get political at this point. Let's go back to, Clinton when he's like, it depends on what the meaning of the word is. It's like, stop trying to argue these words and angles and stuff. Just admit you were wrong and you did a dumb thing and you shouldn't have done it and you're sorry. I mean, he did say, I apologize, but, that doesn't ever go over well. So, yeah, not a Xavier fan, sorry. I don't think there's too many people that are in disagreement on that, with me on that. Any other thoughts? I did have a couple of people say, who's Joe Frazier, to my comment. There's a couple, my Twitter timeline is amusing. Just the when I said he announces he's Joe Frazier's son, I get the who's Joe Frazier, and I'm just like, how much of Big Brother have you been watching? Because if nothing else, when the show started, it was announced that Derek was Joe Frazier's son, which would have elicited the who's Joe Frazier, and you should figure it out. And so when someone says to me, who's Joe Frazier, I realize some people are oblivious and they just, ask these questions. I was like, man, you don't know? And I don't expect, teenagers or 20-somethings or even 30-somethings to necessarily know who Joe Frazier is. Frankly, I only know that he's a famous boxer. I know that he boxed Muhammad Ali. I know he was a world champion. I know that Howard Cosell, which, again, this is where people don't even know, there's the famous audio clip of, I think it's Howard Cosell saying down goes Frazier. That's when Muhammad Ali knocked him down. So there's that name Joe Frazier has a place in my, worldview, in my little memory box, but I get that younger people wouldn't. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm glad that I guess maybe it's good that they have they have the ability or the freedom to feel like they can just ask who's Joe Frazier. But I'm still like, really? So, what else? Gonna wrap this up here. I don't know. It was an okay finale. Julie did announce the sign up for next year, so I guess there'll be a next year. And she mentioned All Stars, and she said February. So I had been saying I was saying January 26th. So I'm gonna have to say, hey, did that change? To the source that I had that told me January 26th, and find out if it's changed or if Julie was wrong, or I don't know. Maybe it's February, which is fine. I don't have a problem saying, look, I was wrong. I've always said, well, this is the date I was told, and if it changes, I'll let you know. So I have complete faith in my source that when they told me January 26th, that was the plan. So I'll have to find out what's up with that. What else? Anything else? I don't know. It's been a good season. Yeah, I'm going to definitely do another follow-up probably tomorrow, talking about things, thanking people, and all that. It in the end, does Xavier get into my top list of best players of all time? No. He didn't have it that hard, all things considered. I mean, and that's no disrespect to Xavier, but I mean, he had the Cookout, and the Cookout, steamrolled, and then he steamrolled the Cookout, which is great for him. But the level of manipulation this year wasn't something amazing, and it was a team effort this year, and so it's hard for me to say one player was the best of all time. I mean, the best player, the person who had the opportunity this year to be one of my best players of all time was Tiffany, and she would have had to run the table. And as I said, when she kind of had those mental lapses where she got a little bit too emotional, that's when she kind of derailed her game to me. But I'm glad she got America's Favorite. There's that too. Good for her. I did call that too. I said I thought it would be Derek and Tiffany, and that Tiffany would win it. Again, I'm not saying anything that a lot of people weren't saying. I'm not some prognosticator, right? Anyways, I'm not that. I'm not some amazingly predictor. It was the obvious answer. It was the obvious answers, and the obvious things happened last night, including Britney screeching. Oh my God, the screeching. One other thing, a rumor, I think, I'm not sure it's been verified, but I know that it was touched on yesterday or the day before that maybe there's something between Claire and Derek X. Maybe there's something going on in the jury house. That's a rumor. And I'm usually not one to care about the house guests after they leave, or and all that stuff. But it was interesting if that happens. So maybe Hannah and Derek X, nothing happened there, but maybe something developed between Claire and Derek X. Maybe. That's interesting. That's cool. They both are from the New York area, so that was one of the reasons. And they're both kind of in technology. So there's lots of reasons that there could be a possibility there, but just put that in your back pocket. But it's for what it's worth. Anything else? Brent did get, back to Brent. He did get, CBS was really nice to him, giving him the opportunity to kiss Tiffany's butt a little bit. He got a good edit last night. I get Frenchie must have talked. I don't remember though. I wasn't paying close attention. This person has no idea where they're going. All right, there they go. All right, so with that, any other final thoughts for this morning? No, not really. I'm glad we're done. I have to watch the finale of The Circle yet. I haven't watched that. That should have dropped last night. And then we'll have Big Brother Australia. Celebrity Big Brother or VIP Big Brother Australia will be coming out, and I'll probably talk about that a little bit. I'll probably pop on and say, hey, how are you doing? Here's how you can watch it, which it does involve jumping through some hoops. So, but it's worth it. It's a good show. I anticipate it's going to be a good show. I always like Big Brother Australia, so I'm kind of excited that that's going to be hitting the interwebs sometime in the next month or two. More likely, actually, November-ish, I'm guessing. That's all I got, guys. I'm parking my car. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, all of you, again, for listening. Thank you to my patrons. I am going to give you guys another shout-out probably tomorrow. I appreciate you all. I appreciate everyone. Yeah, just have a good one. I'm about to say some kind of Julie Chen words of wisdom, and no, I'm not going to do that, but that's what I almost slipped. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Take care. Be well, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow, probably. All right? Bye-bye.